My lecture will be in three parts and without images. I will talk about language and also about English language. Second part, Helen Schene will read my text about laziness. And third part will be little retrospective of my slogans. A lot of my works is about language. First, my works is a collage with text. This text is about everyday language, which I collect in coffee bars, streets, trains, etc. Like, how are you? Yesterday I was so drunk. Leave this garbage, and so on. I live in communist regime, so my interest was also political language and how everyday language become political language. In same time, I work with tautology and how tautology is not possible. I read different slogans because slogans is very popular in communistic regime. One of my slogan, work is disease, Karl Marx. I invented this slogan and signed it with Karl Marx because in that time everything signed by Karl Marx became like a big truth. About language, I learned from Wittgenstein, Bakhtin, and Ferruccio Rossi Landry, and many others. Wittgenstein, the limit of my language is the limit of my world. Bakhtin, language is the ideological science par excellence. Rossi Landry, in his book, speaks that language is like economy. He compares words with money. And then is also another Wittgenstein. Lying is a language game that needs to be learned like any other one. I build my works with these different thoughts about language on English. In 1979 in Amsterdam, in occasion of one manifestation about East art, I give a lecture against English language, but lecture was in Croatian language, so nobody understood what I am talking about. So, svaka ptica lepo poje, ali kos, ali gost. I domaćin lepo jebe, ali gost. Like that. So, nobody understood. In 1993, I make slogan, artist who cannot speak English is not artist. In 2001, I did English dictionary where every word is a pain. So, another Wittgenstein, together with language, you have learned the notion of the pain. Now, Helen will read this text, Price of Laziness.
The Praise of Laziness. As an artist, I learned from both East, socialism, and West, capitalism. Of course, now, when the borders and political systems have changed, such an experience will be no longer possible. But what I have learned from that dialogue stays with me. My observation and knowledge of Western art has lately led me to a conclusion that art cannot exist anymore in the West. This is not to say that there isn't any. Why cannot art exist anymore in the West? The answer is simple. Artists in the West are not lazy. Artists from the East are lazy. Whether they will stay lazy now when they are no longer Eastern artists remains to be seen. Laziness is the absence of movement and thought, dumb time, total amnesia. It is also indifference, staring at nothing, non-activity, impotence. It is sheer stupidity, a time of pain, futile concentration. Those virtues of laziness are important factors in art. Knowing about laziness is not enough, it must be practiced and perfected. Artists in the West are not lazy and therefore not artists, but rather producers of something. Their involvement with matters of no importance, such as production, promotion, gallery system, museum system, competition system, who is first, their preoccupation with objects. All that drives them away from laziness, from art. Just as money is paper, so is a gallery a room. Artists from the East were lazy and poor because the entire system of insignificant factors did not exist. Therefore, they had time enough to concentrate on art and laziness. Even when they did produce art, they knew it was in vain. It was nothing. Artists from the West could learn about laziness, but they didn't. Two major 20th century artists treated the question of laziness in both practical and theoretical terms, Duchamp and Stilinović. Duchamp never really discussed laziness, but rather indifference and non-work. When asked by Pierre Cabannes what had brought him most pleasure in life, Duchamp said, "First, having been lucky, because basically I've never worked for a living. I consider working for a living slightly imbecilic from an economic point of view. I hope that someday we'll be able to live without being obliged to work. Thanks to my luck, I was able to manage without getting wet." Stilinović wrote a text entitled Laziness, the Real Truth About Mankind, 1921. In it, he criticized capitalism because it enabled only a small number of capitalists to be lazy, but also socialism because the entire movement was based on work instead of laziness. To quote, "People are scared of laziness and persecute those who accept it, and it always happens because no one realizes laziness is the truth. It has been branded as the mother of all vices, but it is in fact the mother of life. Socialism brings liberation in the unconscious. It scorns laziness without realizing it was laziness that gave birth to it. In his folly, the son scorns his mother as a mother of all vices and would not remove the brand. In this brief note, I want to remove the brand of shame from laziness and to pronounce it not the mother of all vices, but the mother of perfection. Finally, to be lazy and conclude, there is no art without laziness. Work is a disease. Karl Marx. Mladen Stilinović. Work is a shame. Vlado Matek.
And third part will be small retrospective of my slogans.
We must not wait.
We will leave the house. Work. Language and saying.
Long live money. Long live money.
Cake!
Ich verletze für Geld.
Thank you. You didn't have to. It's nothing.
İdüles and İdüles.
I have been working on this work since 11th of June 1976.
Fuck you. Acrylic on paper.
Concrete measure. I've got pen and paper.
Yummy, yummy.
Friss Geld.
You're leaving the house. Yes.
Oh.
Dear buyers,
This is not the right time.
Why?
I'll be graceful and happy. I won't complain.
Fart Ingo.
Zahle und gehe.
And I want to thank you to Helen and to my students to participate on this lecture. And now, if somebody have a question, I'm here. So, it's a short lecture, sure, must be.
are these both papers from your class?
Yeah,
And,
Marika is here.
okay.
And-
Voting what for?
For
When will these election?
Marika will answer.
Yeah, it was actually it was an assignment task we had to do, and we had to do like what it was with the advertisement.
Yeah.
What was the task again?
Advertising.
Like advertising without no something like I really can't explain actually.
Now, one task was about advertising something, and the other is against
No,
advertising.
not
Yeah,
advertising.
so this is to do some collage with this
So I
so
made the
topics.
lyrics, and it was actually like on purpose that nobody will know what what they vote for, that there's nothing, nothing to vote for, only like, yeah, and only the gift, only the picture, the really recognizable picture of a voting billet, and it had to be confusing. And there's nothing to vote for. Elmo won. That's for sure. Elmo won.
But successfully confusing.
What?
Successfully confusing.
Okay, that's good.
When did you write the text on laziness?
In 1993. This is 2 years after the fall of communism.
Are you still lazy?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But this is what is happened to me when I see how many works I. But I worked 40 years, so it's a lot of work. So somebody thinks, oh, this guy is muscle lying because, but it's 40 years. Yeah, so.
You feel pushed to be not lazy in our system, in the capitalist system still.
I'm still in a transition. So I live in Croatia and still we are in transition. So it's between capitalism and socialism. So nobody pushed me.
And do you also teach your students to be lazy?
Yes, yes. But here, you mean here?
Yeah, for example.
No, they did this and so. But happened to me, I give one lecture in academy in Zagreb, yes, and finishes the lecture with this text. And then professor come after the lecture and said, you don't, this is crazy, you cannot learn people that be lazy here. And I said, but it is students, they have some age, not a pupil, you know. This is a stupid idea, but he was really upset with this text.
But is it also a kind of ecological project, the laziness?
Ecological?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
But it's not funny for making lazy, not to kind of always use the resources of the world.
Yeah, in that way it's in that way maybe it's yeah, but I don't think about ecology.
Is it possible to be too lazy?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe.
Do you think we can distinguish between the lazy Eastern European artists and the capitalist slacker, the surplus body, the kind of Generation X consumer? This is also kind of a deferral in laziness within a state of hyper-capitalism, right? So,
Yeah.
an extreme surplus, but not some kind of an endless deferral and recession from engagement.
Yeah, I don't know what to answer. Yes. What's the question?
What was your question?
Well, in the States, we have, or just there's this idea of a slacker. Like in movie images in the 90s, this kind of idea of a surplus body, kind of an excess that's produced by capital, right? And it's also kind of like the bourgeois individual is kind of catered for in a absolutely kind of conditioned, autonomous, reality. This is also kind of promotes a form of laziness, right? But it's different.
Yeah, once I also did in Ghent this lecture about laziness, and then they said, oh, it's not true, we have one artist in Belgium who is very lazy. So, Okay. And then said, because was there also one girl from Australia, and he said that in Australia is a little bit similar situation like in East. They have galleries and all, but not so many. And then it is it's not hard capitalism, but weak capitalism in that sense. So the artists can be lazy in Australia, especially because of weather and so on.
Who was the lazy Belgian artist?
I don't remember. Sorry. I don't. This is like 10, 15 years ago. So, but I think he lives in Ghent. And then in that time they told me that in that time he exhibit in Venice. They invited him to exhibit in Venice Biennale, and he exhibit just empty box and a little sand inside and nothing else. So it's really like something like that. I don't remember.
So you're not saying that lazy art is minimalist art.
No. This is no.
I mean, in this case, but
No. Can be any.
And what's your art like? Or how does it look like? Or what is it? It's just about laziness, or it's just
No. The topic of laziness is not. It's how it's make art, not is about topic of the art. My topic of art is completely different. Not it's about laziness. Even if I have some slogan about laziness, but it's completely different.
And so what do you do then?
Collage, film, whatever. Photography. Yeah. Yeah, you will see.
So I have a question, because
And
everybody seems to have responded very excitedly about the concept of laziness, and we're already turning laziness into work. Are you finding that it gets harder and harder to be lazy as you bridge these two extremes between laziness and capitalism?
what is
I think at some point, because everybody seems very engaged with the concept of laziness,
yes?
we're very quickly turning laziness into a kind of work.
Yeah, sure,
So,
yeah.
does it become harder and harder to be lazy?
Yeah, sure. Always is like that.
Because I feel like we're already panicking that we're not lazy.
Yeah. And then I quote that one Wittgenstein sentence that lying is also lying is a language game you must also learn. So my text is always like artists who cannot speak English. It's not artists. It's about true and lie. It's not really. So this text is also not really. It's some and some over, but it's not pretended to be or true or lie. This is like open text, you know. And I like this language game, lying something, yeah. Not to be set true. This is very difficult, I think, in America, because they always think that if you something said, that must be true, but it's not like that.
Now, as you have a sort of circular reflexiveness with language and setting up these questions that continue to reinvent themselves over and over again between the different, what can I say, these sets of paradigms.
Yeah. So if we are finished, we can go outside.
I have a question in regards to you working with curators. I think of curators as almost like the least lazy people in the art world, because they're always like being really professional and working in that market, and you have to work with them. How does that relate?
What?
How does your relationship with curators?
Curators?
Yeah.
I'm very good with the curators, but I don't have any gallery.
You don't have any what?
Gallery. Gallery. So.
Because we don't want to.
No, I don't have to. And because it's one job more. If you have a gallery, you must go. So. In that sense, but with the curators, this is different. When I have a solo show, that is my solo show. So I curated this. When is even if I have curators, but when is they invited me in group shows, I was not. I always want to say to curators, you pick the work and okay. But if they invited me to do something new, I not accepted this. I have a lot of works, so you can pick something, or it's okay. I not accepted to do new works for some reason. This is mine, and I'm quite good with the curators. I don't know. It's an answer, okay.
What motivates you?
I don't know. This is different. Just going through the street and see something else. So different approach. Especially, but also today I listen a lot of language in my country, what people talk. So this is very interesting to me. Reading newspapers is another research, but listen to this is a little bit voyeur, but it's okay. And I steal a lot of these slogans from people from the street. I am one way. One gypsy woman say, "You are lying like a Bible." So it's fantastic. Yeah, I mean it's a really masterpiece. This gypsy lady said to another lady, "You are lying like a Bible."
How do you think of laziness in the spectrum of like selfishness to generous? Because to me, sometimes I would look at like some people might look at lazy as being a selfish activity. I was wondering what you think about it, whether you think laziness as a generous act or a selfish act, or is it at all?
I don't know. I don't know the response for this. I don't know. This is. I said this is half a truth, half a lie. So I'm lazy, but not in the way that I am acting laziness or prepare for laziness or something like this. Maybe it's better to say I am slow. Yeah, but in the way that I am not. For example, I did this in '93, but I have in mind like 10 years. So I'm a little bit slow with this. So.
And did you think about like using different word that laziness? Because to me, it's more like something like being calm or waiting for something. But laziness. Did you think about some different words to use to describe this kind of state of mind?
No, the simple is laziness. It's okay. Because I think laziness disturbs people, And then you have this. One of my work when it's photography where I'm, it's from 70s. It's a photography where I'm lying in the bed with open eyes, closed eyes, and then you see in the photograph it's a little book backwards. Yeah? And then its title is Artists at Work. So that means in that time I think Artists at Work can be, because it's a discussion, it's a conscience, that artists work with conscience on inconscience. So this is some, I don't know, I really don't know, and I don't care about this. I don't care about Freud at all in that sense, yeah, to analyze my process of working, no. So I did that, yeah. Artists at work. And then, yeah, about what I want to say. And then, because I grew in a socialistic time in Croatia, and then it's a lot about work, you know. This is a workers' country, workers' sea, and I have a lot of work about work. So one is work is disease and so on, but I have a lot. So the opposite of this is laziness, you know, and so also came with this. Because they speak a lot about work, communism. So.
Do you know the book The Right to Be Lazy, The Right to Laziness?
What?
A book called The Right to Be Lazy.
Oh, who wrote this?
It was written by a guy named Paul Lafargue.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. In the 1880s.
Yeah, this is not a book. This is just an essay. Yeah, I know this. Yeah.
He was, maybe I'll just tell you.
Yeah. But this is extreme in Marxist.
He was married.
Much better. Yeah, I know.
And then his criticism in the 1880s was the problem with it, Marx is good. I'm a Marxist, but the problem with Marxism is he makes everything into work.
Yeah.
Even non-work is work.
Yeah.
So he says people have the right to be lazy, which is neither work nor leisure. And he also has another essay in the same collection called The Rights of the Horse, I think, which are saying everyone right now in the 1880s is fighting for the rights of man, the right to have a working day, the right to a certain number of hours of work to survive. But you should actually be asking for the rights of the horse instead, because horses have to work fewer hours than people. He's good.
Yeah. So I think we are finished. Huh? Almost is finished. So again, do it again.